Something tells me that the developer of esports games don't really know how sports work, real sports, or conventional sports, I should say. I'm talking about the way in which the games like Rocket League and Overwatch employ their personal ranking system on individual players. I think the competitive ranking system in these games erroneously reflect the personal skills and contributions of individual players. Let's take the Yankees, for example. When the New York Yankees lose, that loss is tied to the entire team and those ultimately responsible, such as the owners, managers, and coaches. But a loss rarely reflects any given individual's personal skill and their average contributions. So when the Yanks lose a game where Aaron Judge goes 4 for 4 with a home run and a diving play, Judge's personal numbers increase after the game. This accurate reflection of how Judge contributes to his team boosts his notoriety, so even though the Yankees keep losing, Aaron Judge's numbers keep going up. I know, it's a crazy concept, but bear with me. Then the MLB as a whole looks at Judge and says, wow, this guy is sought after, and that's reflected in his contract with things such as salary. So how do the major esports games like Rocket League and Overwatch handle this? Well, when your team loses, your personal rank decreases, regardless of how you've contributed. If you score 5 goals in Rocket League and your teammate goes AFK, so you lose, or in Overwatch, if you get gold medals in healing and damage, but you have some toxic thrower and lose because of him, your personal rank goes down. The game's essentially telling you that your personal skill and contribution is secondary to the binary action of win or loss. I mean, I get that because there's no I in team, right? But let's get real here. Let's say you're the captain of a pickup basketball team and you need to choose players. If individual contributions didn't matter, then you could just close your eyes and point. But that's not what a good captain of a basketball team would do. They would choose someone who's tall and someone who's quick and basically individuals based on what they offer at an individual level so that they can contribute to the team as a whole. Again, if individual personal contribution to a team didn't matter, then pro athletes wouldn't be negotiating individual salaries. They'd all just be paid the same. So a good player's individual rank suffers when some random on your team leaves, throws, or is on shrooms or something. But the inverse is also usually the case. A thrower's individual rank goes up if they happen to be lucky enough to team with 5 players who are at the top of their game. So to the baseball analogy, if Aaron Judge strikes out 4 times and has an error, but the Yankees still win, does Judge deserve to have his personal rank increased? Of course not. But that's exactly what happens with these esports games. I mean, you can see it in this video, which is literally titled, "I'm gonna carry this guy out of bronze." So that kind of epitomizes right there the problem that you can be bad and get carried into a good rank, or good and be carried out of a good rank by a bad team. You don't see that reflected anywhere in real sports. I mean, conventional sports, don't hurt me. So here are some pretty basic solutions that I think these esports games should implement. They aren't concrete examples of how to change the code or anything. They're more just general rules to live by. So first, I think it's important to better identify players who specialize in certain roles. So in Overwatch, don't match people purely based on SR because you could end up with 6 support mains. So you kind of want to piece together people who are efficient at healing, people who are efficient at blocking or doing damage, and do your best to team those people together, because when you only base it on a numbers system, well then it's not accounting for personal contribution. And it's the same in Rocket League. Stop focusing solely on points. Someone who does 100 backflip kicks is not doing the same as someone who knows where to be positioned, yet many times the former get the most points. My second solution or general rule of thumb, I guess, would be to allow rank to increase for players who lose despite playing at a disproportionately higher level than their teammate. So by that I mean in Rocket League, if you get 5 goals and 3 saves that your teammate did nothing, you guys both shouldn't be decreasing at the same rate. And I guess in a situation, if both players on a team lose but they play at about an equal level, then yes, their rank probably should go down. But I'm not really here to argue that. I'm more here to argue for a ranking system to better reflect an individual's contributions. The last general solution I have is to rank down players who play poorly on a winning team. It's easier in Overwatch and Rocket League because in Overwatch you can account for many different types of contributions, from healing to blocking to damage to objective time and all that. But Rocket League simply uses points, and there are so many arbitrary means of getting points, such as backflip kicks and poorly placed aerial hits. I guess a bonus rule that comes out of this is to allow the best players on the winning team to level up at a higher rate, and for the worst players, have them level down at a higher rate. I guess what I'm saying to developers of games like Overwatch and Rocket League is please pay more attention to the ranking system, and please pay attention to how you reflect an individual's contribution, and spend a little less time on those loot boxes.